Well, hello there, my fellow theme park designers. Good times with Scar here, and welcome back to Sci-Fi versus the Wild West. And we're here in a little Wild West food court area. I just love this place. I love it. I just want to walk through here and experience it for myself. Now, one thing you guys said in the last episode was like, Scar, you got yourselves this pot, right? You got your pot right there. Why is the pot and the little coffee pot not over the fire? And I was like, oh, why didn't I think of that? So keep those suggestions coming on. You gotta get those Scar suggestions. Now, Scar suggestions when I just am completely oblivious of something. And then, so I took the fire out of this hole, and it made sense because we got the shovel, and yeah. Sometimes I'm so oblivious to things. All right, so we got that area all looking very, very beautiful. And of course, here is our station. And I think this area is just looking absolutely wonderful. The energy that this area kind of, oozes just makes me so excited to finish other areas of the land. So up in this little corner, before we get to our major projects today, gotta show you this. So remember this? We got our TNT up here, we've got our plunger, we've got some pickaxes. So this is a mining area. These are little tunnels going off into mining lands. We gotta do something to spruce this up with a little bit of energy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump into our effects. So I've been going through these effects. We've got the explosion Western style, which sounds kind of amazing. So we're gonna click on that. So there's that one. Now there's also a sci-fi, yeah, here's the sci-fi one. This one's got a little flame at the end to it. And what's this one? I think that's just general explosions. So we'll go with our Western explosion. And every time I seem to put these things above the ground, I lose them, and then if I want to re-edit them or something, then I can't find them. So I am gonna put this one right on the ground there. Now, of course, that doesn't really look aesthetically good, but I think it'll be okay. So next thing we need to do is we need to add a trigger. So when the train passes by, it almost gives off the impression that this little mining camp is, pulling down the plunger and blowing up the little tunnel here. So somehow we got to do this. So edit triggers. Now I've never done this before, but oh, hello. Okay, we're way over here now. Is there any way I can get this guy to go over here? Can you go over there? No, you do not. Oh, don't tell me I gotta go all the way along. I do. I gotta take this guy. I gotta babysit the little trigger all the way to his spot. Little fella's just too shy. Come on. Okay, all right, we're here. Okay, beautiful. Ooh, look at that train, guys. This game makes me so happy. Every time I turn on, no matter if I'm happy, sad, or anything, this game just puts a smile on my face. And I absolutely love this game so much. Okay, so I'm gonna put this down right here, and then I'm gonna jump over this little triangle. I guess this is what you do. Let's see, add object or trigger. Okay, so let's click this, and can I just bam? Oh my gosh, we did it. Oh, it's amazing. Watch this. Oh, this is gonna be amazing, guys. All right. Is there any trains nearby? Nope, no trains. All right, we're speeded up. All right, get ready for this. We got a train coming in. Yes! Oh, that's amazing. I love it. It's really there's explosions going off. Now, we could even get a little bit more crazy. And there's also falling debris. So you can have dirt falling. So if you set this right there, it kind of adds a little extra detail there. But I just love that. I just think that really gives off a good kind of vibe. There's just stuff going on. I think that's the best thing in theme park design is if there's lots of energy, lots of vehicles, lots of sounds, and things like that going off, it really makes an area absolutely beautiful. But this is where we left off in our last episode. We've got this whole area structurally built out. So we have our little log ride, we have our expansion for our steam trains, but what this area is missing is a little bit of love. It just needs some scenery, it needs some mountains, some trees, and things like that. Oh, watch this, guys. Ah, that's so awesome. So I got so many little plans for all of this where we're going to work. So the station, of course, is going to become a sawmill. So I think that'll be really cool to see that built up in this area. Now down in the splash zone, I think that's where we're going to have a lot of logs. So one thing I want to jump into real quick is show you where we're going to kind of take this theme. So let's jump into our nature. Click down to, let's see, not our alpine. There's our desert. And let's see, why aren't we getting anything? Oh, there we go. My bad. There we go. So these little pine trees, these ponderosa pines, and we're going to set those right there. Look at that. See, we're getting up at a little bit higher altitude, so we're kind of going away from the deserts from this area of the park over here and coming into a slightly less deserty area. So we got some pines now one question I have for these trees is, can I put them on their sides? And I suspect you can. Oh, yes, you can. Oh, that's gonna be perfect for what I have planned. So I wanna have little areas where it looks like they're actively cutting down the trees. So I think that's gonna be really, really cool. So we'll clear that away. So our first objective, now I really hope I can get this all done in one episode, but it's gonna be a lot of work, so I'm not 100% sure if we're going to be able to. But this little spot right here, I'm really kind of getting the vibe of tunnels. So I really want to kind of make a tunnel through here and really just kind of take what we did in that area over there and then bring it on over here and really make this area feel a little bit more connected. I want to get rid of as many supports as possible. See all the supports all over the place? If I can get rid of like 90% of those, we've got to win. So let's do this. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna jump into our terrain tool and kind of plan this out. So what I want to do is maintain this cliff a little bit, but I wonder if there's a cliff button. All right, that's a channel. Flatten the surface. Roughen, push. No, I don't know if there is, but what I'm gonna do is, see how I'm gonna do this? I'm just gonna start expanding this outwards a little bit so we can start to make this feel just a little, I don't know, maybe if the mountain starts down like right here and then actually you come out of a tunnel and see the train going over, that might be pretty cool. But it's just kind of a trial and error at the moment just to kind of find our way with this. So I'm gonna kind of play around with this a little bit. And as you can see, the train, just look at how it's just, oh, that is so cool how it just so easily cuts in there. But yeah, this isn't the prettiest thing in the world at the moment, so this is gonna take a little bit of practice. And welcome back. And as that log goes up the flume there, doesn't this look absolutely amazing? This is the vision that we had. We have our train going across the top there. We have our logs going up into this little tunnel, and just seeing the trains go above here is so amazing. But look at the mountains, they're really starting to come to be. So what I'm working on now is with a small brush with a high sensitivity, really kind of just going back and forth on the mountain like so, and look at these beautiful cliffs starting to emerge. And yeah, it's just really just taking out a big brush, getting the big details down, and then coming back with a small brush like this. Whoa, hello. Sometimes you get a little wild with yourself. There we go, gotta clean that up. But as you can see, look at the detail. See it all starting to form. Now the question is, like, do we start, leaving this like this, or start like sloping it down, or we can kind of cut inward? So many possibilities. But I like to kind of make these little channels along here, and then say we jump over to our painting tool and we kind of make these nice little cliffs going down like that. Helps add so much more definition. And of course we can take this, build up the rock a little more heavy on the little edge along there. Look at the detail, isn't that amazing? And then soften it with that. It's just amazing the amount of possibilities this game has. But one possibility that frustrates me to no end that we do not have within the game, and that is the ability to use other materials other than, all of these desert, browns. Now, if we had that option, not only could we have our Western land and our sci-fi land out there, but maybe a medieval land over in this little corner. It would be really cool. But unfortunately, I don't really want to build a medieval land in the desert. So if we had options of like, green grass or snow or, a tropical theme, all of those different options for the paint tool, that'd be really cool. Is there a way to unlock those that I'm just not seeing? Or is that just plain not implemented in the game? If it's not implemented in the game, then that's kind of frustrating, because I really wish that option was in the game, because it just seems limiting without it. But as you can see, just adding these little details along here looks so amazing. And then up here, just back and forth, just keep adding those little brush strokes back and forth, just like a painting. And eventually start getting some really beautiful cliff lines. But yeah, it's trial and error for sure. Trial and error. Using a high brush sensitivity like this can result in some problems here and there. But for the most part, this is coming out really nice. Look at our log flume coming down the hill. And this is what I've been talking about, creating these beautiful hills around our flume. And I think that's coming out really nice. So when we jump back into our terrain tool real quick here, and as you can see, these little cuts into the earth, I think is perfect. So as long as we can get rid of as many support, oh no, more supports are appearing. No, I was doing better. No, it's just like a battle. It's true, it's a battle. It's a battle of supports right now. And I'm trying to see, look at this. I try to get rid of some, and then like 4 of them appear out of nowhere. But yeah, it's kind of a little trial and error to really get this into the right spot. We're at the park boundary at the moment, and we are kind of topping out here, so we can't really go, make a nice little detail back here. I was kind of hoping for some trees as a backdrop, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. And I got another question for you. Would you guys like to see a world download of this map? For all you guys out there that are playing the game, you might want to jump on there, kind of look at some of the details. If that's something you guys want to see, like, let me know in the comments and I will make it available. Or anything we build, like a little stand or something like that you like uploaded, maybe you want to use for your own park. Or I don't know if it's any good or not, but I really think some of the little stands like at the front of the park are kind of nice little designs. Let's clean that off a little bit. That looks kind of ugly. But yeah, if you guys want to have me download this, definitely let me know, and I'll put it up on the Steam Workshop so you can take a look at it. Oh, look at that little chisel right there. I love it. Oh man, this game is just too much fun. Just too much fun. Let's take a look down here. Remember those supports that were once along there? I totally got rid of them. And this looks absolutely beautiful along this section once again, which is great. Now, over in this little corner, I'm considering doing a lake. So if we start kind of bringing down the terrain just a little bit in this area, so we start bringing it down. Now, the reason I kind of got that idea is these kind of like little erosion slopes that kind of flow down like so. So we can jump over here. Now, I think, not dirty, but I think good. I think it's standing water is probably the best theme for this area. And apparently I can't, oh, we're too high up on this side. Well, apparently not. I was hoping we could make a little something here. Maybe now we can. Can we now? Can we get some water? Please, can we get some water here? What does a guy need to do to get some water around here? It's not bad. I mean, it's something. I just was hoping to get a little deeper in this area. I guess I just have to work on this little slope along that side. But guys, like, tell me this isn't starting to look really good. You remember what this looked like before? It was so incredibly ugly. So many supports, but now it is finally starting to feel just ever so slightly more realistic. Look at that incredible hill. So this is kind of our vision, of course, having the logs kind of flow down through little channels in the mountains. And I think we were able to achieve that. I even have a couple little tunnels that they go through, and I even made a little cavern inside here. So maybe we could put some themes and some decorations inside of there. But look at this guy go down. Look at that. Oh, that's really cool. So I think this is starting to come out very, very nice. So I've deepened this ever so slightly, so I got a little bit more depth in there. But looking from this distance, like, isn't this slowly coming together? And then this is where we're gonna work now. We need to make an additional hill in this spot right here. So why don't we get out that terrain tool and think about building ourselves a mountain. So what's this mountain gonna look like? So is this gonna be more just kind of a rolling hill, or is this gonna be more of cliffs like we did on that side? I don't know yet. All I wanna know is I just wanna get rid of those supports. I don't know. I'm just not a big support guy, because when I think about like Splash Mountain or something along those at Disneyland, there's no supports. It's all beautifully built within a hill. Think of the Matterhorn at Disneyland also, and how the cars, flow through the mountain, and you don't see any little structure. All you see is little bobsleds going through a snowy mountain. I've never been a big fan of like a theme park that builds, a gigantic, amazing, like engineering feat of a coaster that's just built on top of a parking lot. And I'm just like, ugh. Like, take like Tower of Terror, rip. That's a drop ride. That's a simple like mechanism for, dropping, riders down. But you don't take like, a big tower, just stick it up and, call it a day. No, they built a hotel around it, a whole theme. And that's what I love about like storytelling, and especially theme park design, is telling a story, but in real life, a place where you can go and really experience it. It's one thing, it's fun to watch TV and the movies and all those things, but it's a whole nother thing to experience something in real life. And that's what's always fascinated me about theme parks and design, is the aspect of actually experiencing it. Maybe someday we'll be able to experience it a little bit more through VR, movies and the video games and all those things. But that's what I still love about theme parks, is that feeling of being in that actual environment. I think there's just nothing that really can compete when it's properly done. Proper storytelling, like a Pirates of the Caribbean, a Haunted Mansion, Indiana Jones, things of that nature. And of course the Harry Potter lands, which, my gosh, I still haven't seen them personally, but I've seen the pictures and I can only imagine what it's like seeing that in real. Okay, so this little spot right here is looking like a tunnel, guys. I'm feeling tunnel-like. Are you guys feeling tunnel-like? That's right, I'm feeling a little tunnel-like. So we're gonna start building up this. Now I don't want it to get a little, I just don't want it to get too crazy. I really like the perspective we have on this hill. So if we build something up a little too crazy over here, that'll really overshadow it. So that's why I think I'm gonna start scaling it back ever so slight, like so, just ever so slightly, just scale that back down a little bit. And think about this. This looks a little bit hokey, but I think once we start getting with a smaller brush, we can start really getting in there like that. See how we did that? Start just slowly kind of getting there. So my question is, do we keep that tunnel, which is looking terrible, or do we, have this out in the open? I'm really kind of considering backing off the tunnel for now and just slowly kind of working this cliff up to a nice point where we don't have supports, but doesn't overshadow this area, because I think this just absolutely flows perfectly well with the mountains and the general stylings. But this one's a tricky one. I'm gonna need to work on this a little longer. Progress is being made. Look at these incredible mountains. We have our splashdown pool is now literally a lake as that car comes into the water. Doesn't that look super refreshing? And there's this beautiful little arch that the log actually goes through on that corner there. Now, yeah, I kind of wish the reflecting splashdown pool was a little bit lower down into this area, but I think that's okay. Look at this little trail right through this little lake. I think this is a perfect place to put some floating logs in the water. Here goes another car into the water, looking absolutely incredible. So this is kind of a first layer structure. So I think I'm pretty good structurally wise on the mountain. Now, of course, give me your thoughts on the mountains. Things I would do a little bit different would be to maybe make it a little less kind of rough around the edges. I really tried to rough it up, but maybe a little smoother would have been nice. But other than that, I think it has come out really, really nice. This spot, like right here, where you can really see all of the trails kind of snaking its way through the mountains, I think looks super nice. Let's see, where was another area? Ah, right here. So I was thinking with my terrain tool, just to show you guys real quick, is these things are just so much fun. I just love making these arches. It's like the one we made on Hermitcraft and things like that. I just think these are really cool, little natural arches that the crafts actually cross over the logs. And I think that looks really, really nice. We can just bring those up and just really naturally. And I think that looks really cool. Always try to make the top just a little bit bigger. There we go. Just make that spot just a little bit bigger. There we go. We don't want to lose control. We lost control there a little bit, but there we go. Look at that. Just those extra little details. Now, unfortunately, doing all this terrain has not changed the excitement or any of the ratings of the log flume, which is kind of a disappointment. Which is slightly a disappointment. So if I go over here, these are the same ratings, and it's like, come on. I gave this thing so much like scenery and design. Like, come on, don't give that to me. You give me an extra star. Look at this. The logs go up this hill, the trains cross over. That's like instant awesomeness. And they were stingy. They did not give me what I wanted. But one of the best things about this entire mountain is that we achieved our 90% supportless structure. Look at this, no supports anywhere to be seen. Look, yeah, there's some ones here and there, but I call that in the 10%. So we've got these ones along here, but you can barely see them. And that's what's so wonderful, I think, about this. Now, like I said, it's very kind of hilly and all the same. So I think eventually I might smooth out some of these edges so it's not all exactly the same. When you zoom in, it looks great really close. But when you zoom out, see, it gets not maybe about right there. There you go. You can kind of see it right there. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's jump into our terrain tool. And like I said, when you look at stuff from afar, always be critical of what you do a bit. Don't let it discourage you at all, but always look back and think, what could I have done better? What could I have done a little bit better? And that's where I wanted to spend that second there and kind of look at like, okay, see these little areas right here? It's a little too, hilly. Let's smooth it out a little bit. And that's just, I always think it's so important to make sure you're as critically as you, let me rephrase that. Be as critical as possible of your work, but don't let it discourage you. If that makes any sense. You really want to be critical. You want to make sure you're always trying to be the best you can. Criticize your little details here and there. Like, I could have done better here. I could have done better there. I think this is good, but then this could use improvement. I think that's really good to do when you're trying to do like a creative piece of something. It's just as long as you don't discourage yourself from what you're doing. Always do it in a somewhat constructive manner. And criticism from others and stuff like that's very important too. But just yourself, I think that's probably some of the best is like, okay, understand like where this was a shortcoming and how you can improve it. So look at this. I'm just trying to get out as much as the standard terrain is. You see so much of the standard stuff. It's got those little gray rocks. I'm really trying to smooth them out, really add some extra detail in here. Now let's find an erosion spot. Right here is a perfect example. We'll make a nice big brush. We're gonna smooth that out like that. Look at that. Start kind of bringing those down and find these little areas where, you know, things are rock slides and things along those lines are going around. And you can kind of smooth out the edges a little bit like that and take out some rock, find a little cliff face and go whoosh, like that. Isn't that awesome? And yeah, this is super fun. Just kind of buzzing about and adding all these little details like this and then smoothing them out once again and mixing in another one like that. I just wish there was more options. Like, I don't know what this one does. It makes this really weird shine. I'm not sure what that one does, so I don't really use that one very much. But yeah, so it's time to just kind of paint this place up, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes after I paint this a little more. And there we go. We've got our mountains painted and ready to go. Just looking at these makes me so excited to see all of the possibilities we can add. Trees and plants, additional rocks, and of course theme elements, so you know, get some of the lumber mill things going. And it's just nice to see these two attractions have a nicer, more prominent place to be stationed on. So we've got our steam train going across, and of course our log flume over there. And the painting, I think, went well. We got lots and lots of little details built in and around, a little bit of green moss around all of the, you know, the waterways, and then looking down at this corridor over here, using, you know, just a little bit of the sand around some of the erosion spots, really kind of highlight them. And like I said before, I just love this view. Like, this is a perfect view. We had the train going across here. We had the flume going upwards. And I always wish there was a train going by when I show you guys that, but it never seems to be. But all these little details in and around. And I'd love to get your guys' feedback, of course, on what you want to see theme-wise built into the design. So like I was saying, I want to add lots of little trees. So if we say we take out our scenery tab, and we sorted via, where is it? There it is, there it is. And we'll take that like so. And we start planting, you know, some of these trees. I might go with the smaller ones because it'll be closer to the top here. But you know, we just start adding a little bits of detail like that. It's gonna look absolutely incredible. Now, I would love to get some of these rocks, you know, kind of built into the landscape here and there. You know, let's drop it in there just a smidge. But you know, just like little details like that really, really add a lot to the particular design. But yeah, there we go. So now we need to build a sawmill. We need to add all of the trees here and there. But for the most part, I think that is very, very good today. It took quite a few hours to get to this point, but thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you were inspired for your own mountain ranges here in Planet Coaster. And until next time, this has been Good Times with Scar, and we'll see you later.